All right. Sorry for the delay, y'all. We are live. Having a little bit of technical difficulty at this point. That's not a surprise after the last 2 or 3 weeks. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Brett. Hey, Sam, Brandon, James, everybody in the chat. Kelly. Yes, we've had a delay, Kelly. Ross. Blame the firewall. We are. Hey, Dawn. I see you in there too. Alan. We are trying to figure out it's always DNS. Yes, I think Pam has trademarked that though, Sam. So be careful. That's her username on some of the on some of the Slacks and stuff. We can't decide if it's Chromecast or Crowdcast or Chrome. But
The new
we're
couple name is Chromecast.
yeah, yeah. Um I have a couple of Chromecasts. I like them. They're okay. But poor Josh can make sound and we can hear him, but he is struggling with being able to hear us. So we are experimenting with him listening to YouTube as a slightly delayed mechanism. But yeah,
Josh,
Ross.
do you hear us? Copy.
Yes,
Over.
wait 2 seconds and then maybe he'll hear it. um But Ross says we can blame Apple for releasing updates yesterday, but I don't think we have actually done those on our computers yet. So we are going to try and wing it and see if we can make this work. And Josh may refresh a couple more times trying to make it work. Nathan says, "Oh, you didn't receive the normal notification email. Well, I'll have to check and see what happened there. Just one more glitch that we are." I see it now. Oh, see, because we started a little bit late, Nathan. It looks like it just went out and says JumpCloud just went live. But there was an email at 11:20 that says starting soon. So I'll have to check and make sure that you're getting those and everything. Oh, James says, yeah, it was 11:21, James. And then of course
Check your spam.
anytime we go live, that's when it goes out. So it went out, 8 minutes late because we started late. But we apologize for the delay. We're trying to deal with oh, Kelly, you recognize the color of my here. Kelly recognizes my hoodie just by the
Oh
color.
yeah.
So wow, that's pretty good eye. Um we're trying to work out the technical difficulties. It's one of those days. It's Friday. It's a weird day. She's having internet issues. I'm having internet issues. I'm trying to order new equipment and the new equipment I did order made things worse. So I'm sending that back and reordering something else. It's just, are we sure it's not both a full moon and Mercury in retrograde or something weird like that that's just crossing all the wrong wires? Brandon says, FYI, some other companies are reporting that 14.4 is changing the recovery key for macOS. Oh, great. Fun. Just what we need. More shenanigans. I'm not in the mood for shenanigans right now. Kelly says, thanks, Brandon. I was hoping not to sleep tonight.
I mean, it's Friday night, so either you're hitting the club or hitting the support tickets. Am I right?
I mean, it's kind of like that. So James says Bluetooth didn't work for 30 minutes after updating to 14.4. Oof. Thanks for telling me to wait to update for a little bit. I think I will. Brandon says, I'm on vacation a few times this month, and so far every day there's been a major outage. Ooh, Brandon, I'm so
Obviously.
sorry. Are you kind of like the only person that like a one-stop shop, so they get you anyway? And Kelly says, if those are the only two options, I guess it's off to the club. Yeah, I think you're right. Oomps, 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 oomps. And Sam says, any fires can wait until Monday. Good for you, Sam. Set those boundaries. Set those boundaries and go enjoy your weekend. And James says that might be a me problem. Oh, Brandon says external vendor outage. Does that still fall on you, Brandon? And Tad says Josh looks to be in a dark mood. Yeah, he is kind of. I think he was trying to leave and come back on. So this may be a really short IT hour, y'all. We may have to have Josh back next week. There he is. He's
Oh,
okay. Just as you said that.
No audio still. I
no.
was able to connect a second ago, half connect, and heard audio, but never connected the rest of the way. So I connected again now. No audio again.
Well, we
Hi,
can hear.
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly
But you
says
can
we hear
hear
you.
us
Yep.
on YouTube, right? So
Hopefully he can, but we can definitely hear him. So we're.
Let me try. Hang on, I've got an idea. We're gonna try something crazy.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, Kelly, this is going to be another thing like when we had Ken on, and we're going to be communicating a lot via typing things out, or he's going to be listening to YouTube on delay. So it's going to be interesting.
and Ross, yes, most of our troubleshooting was by interpreted
I'm on
ducks.
YouTube, but yeah.
Delay.
There's a delay.
Yeah. So he's going to hear everything we say about him, a moment later. And so that's going to be funny.
Well, now you know
Yeah.
how those news people, the journalists feel when they're out on the field. And you can
Yeah.
hear the 2 second delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how it is. So Becky and Urvashi are doing it by interpretive dance. We've tried a little bit of everything, Ross. I don't think the tab is muted. I know last week I had to go in and look at my settings because Chrome had changed something, and I had to give the sound permissions again. So we've tried a little bit of everything, and who knows? Brian, I hear you on the time to transition to a new platform. I think it's just Chrome has been updating so frequently recently that there's not really a good way to keep up. So we're trying to James says turn on closed captions. So yeah, I don't know if we have that on here, but that is a good idea. Does this platform, I don't know if this platform has it, but we'll have to figure that out because that could possibly work if we could figure out how to do that. Sam says smoke signals. Brian says call him on his cell phone. Yeah, if we could figure out a way to have him join via Google Meet or something and then listen that way, that would be a good.
I think today's episode is just a perfect example of how IT admins can save the day. If you're having software problems, join the IT hour. You'll have 25 people helping you troubleshoot.
That's right. But Sam wants a ticket before he'll help troubleshoot. So
I mean,
voice
due process must
crackle.
be
Oh
followed.
no, Brandon.
No. It's Brandon. It's not you.
It's you, Brandon.
Nobody else is getting that.
Not unless I do like this, and then you might get a little bit of crackle.
No,
Yeah,
virtual
no, I
fry.
won't do that. Nope.
Oh my God. She is like so doing that on purpose.
Like said, that's a little bit excessive verbal fry. Okay, so see, everybody else says no. So Brandon, sorry, it's just you. Although Joe says slightly distorting, so I'm sorry.
All y'all fix your internet. This is not a Becky thing.
Although you just froze for half a second. No, we don't mean to drive Josh away. Josh is all we have today. Kind of a quiet. Oh, wait, can you hear us?
Wait,
Yay!
I told you we just
Seth.
needed him to log off and log on 17 times and then it would work.
I think
It's not a
17 was the
bug,
magic
it's
number.
a feature.
I think 17 was the magic number. We need to have that in our help articles.
I know Ross
We can
is
still do
forward to us
interpretive
doing an
dance.
interpretive dance. You can. I mean, go ahead. I don't think I have it in me today. I could do the chicken dance. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
For Friday, I think that's perfect, especially considering we'll be talking about application management and specifically a private repo or self-hosted apps, whichever you prefer. Maybe it's self-hosted dance or a private repository of dance moves.
That's right. I could do,
Well,
Saturday Night Live that you can't really see because my window's too narrow, but you can interpret it any way you want. So, well, Brandon, I meant more of things like in the community and stuff. I didn't mean news was going to be quiet. So, you know, we don't have a lot in the community stuff this week. However, before we jump to Josh's topic, I didn't say this last week, but it is Women's History Month, and today is International Women's Day. So, celebrating all our women out there. Personally, I don't think a month is enough. I celebrate all year long, but to have a month dedicated is kind of nice. And they're actually doing they're doing an International Women's Day event right now here at work where they've got a special speaker and stuff. But we're here with you all instead because we love you so much. Nathan says, I created a bunch of private repo apps this week, but need to better understand how to transition to that with minimal disruption to users. Ooh,
Brilliant. You bet.
yeah.
You bet.
All right. Well, Josh, now that you are, let's hope, do you need to present? Let's hope you can do that too. Oh, you're just going to talk. All
I'm
right.
just going to talk. I'm not going to challenge the demo gods any more than I already have.
All right. Well, go ahead and jump right in. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, so and we'll answer the question about the transition to using the private repo as well. Just for those of you who haven't tried it, last week was our official general availability of the private repo. What that means is, yeah, Ravashi, as of Monday last week, or was it this week? I can't even remember anymore. Um, so what it allows you to do is if you go into software management, um, on your left tab, you will notice in the drop down, whether you're in Windows or on Mac OS, you will see a drop down that says custom application. Historically, if you are on the Windows side, you probably only saw Chocolatey, or on the Mac OS side, you saw custom hosted app or VPP. So this is, hang on, I have a dog that's yelling at me, but I will try to keep talking. It is snowing outside, so I now have a very snowy dog running through the house. So what that allows you to do is we now offer up to 10 gigabits or gigabytes, sorry, of space that JumpCloud hosts for each of you or each of your organizations. So feel free to upload and install any number of applications. There's a couple key caveats here. On the Windows side, we only support MSI applications or packages, and on the Mac side, the Mac OS side, we only support PKGs. A couple of things to note when you upload them. We do validate to make sure it's got signed certs. So if it doesn't have a signed cert, you're going to get kicked back out. But if it is signed, we validate the hash, and you will now find that application that we will now store in your private repository. What you can then do is bind or associate either devices or groups of devices, and then we will go and then install that application on those associated devices. Some more key things to know. Those devices, the way we actually install those applications is specifically through the MDM channels. So the Windows device needs to be JumpCloud MDM enrolled, and or same if you're looking for Mac devices. To the question posed before by Nathan, the transition, great question. So typically, for either Mac or Windows, once you bind those applications, what the MDM command does is it then looks at those devices. If it does not have the application, we will then install the application. If the application is already there, then we will leave well enough alone. So your end user, if they're already there, should not see anything if that application's already there. If the application's not there, we will install it. So a couple things to know as well. Once those go out, we don't have any mechanisms for updating yet. However, we are looking to be able to. So, for example, if, for example, you have a Chrome issue like I might have had about 20 minutes ago, and you might need a Chrome update, perhaps. What you can do in the future is to be able to upload that new version that is not yet available. So in order to be able to do that today, what you'd have to do is create a new application with that new version of Chrome, associate the devices you want to get that new version, and you're up to speed. Any questions or things I can answer, at least on the private repository that's available today?
Brandon had a question. Is DMG support planned? Is there a
Oh,
big roadblock?
that is a great question, and the answer is yes. So we know that PKGs and MSIs are a very small or a smaller portion of the overall availability of applications. So both DMGs and EXCs are on the roadmap, something to know. We do have some secret sauce if you reach out to us directly. However, to bundle a PKG into a DMG, but it requires a developer license so that you could sign the package. It is not straightforward, but again, it's something that we can assist with. Some other things to know as a sneak peek. This is between just us chickens. So as some of you know, on the Mac OS side and iOS side, we have VPP applications available. We kind of have a hole in that we don't support any Microsoft Store applications. I believe one of you might have noted in our Slack channels that they might have seen something that slipped out that was supposed to be behind a feature flag that said Windows Store. Yep, Keith, that was you. The one who's always poking around and finding all the good stuff. That is coming very, very, very soon. So you'll see something shortly on that. I can't give dates yet, but know that it's shortly. We're doing a little bit of cleanup on the user experience side. So that's the last of it, but I can say it's working brilliantly. A couple things to note. What this will allow you to do once it's released is take applications or find applications from the Microsoft Store. You'll have to pull the package ID, which is embedded in the URL. So for those of you that know the Microsoft Store, when you're navigating throughout the store, you can find an application. Once you navigate to that application, there will be a package ID embedded in the URL. With that package ID, you can then come back into our platform, copy and paste that package ID, and then not only will we install it on associated devices, but we'll give you the option to keep it updated. So, for example, if you pull Chrome, although I don't know if I think Chrome's in the store, you can then make sure that once those applications are updated in the store, we will then push those updates out to the bound devices. So something to look forward to soon. The other thing that's a little bit further out, but something to know, what we're really excited about on the Microsoft Store is not only the availability of a bunch of new applications to install, but really the ability to patch. We know that that's a hole in VPP apps today. And so that's something the team is actually working on right now, such that those applications that you bind via VPP, you will be able to keep those updated. Again, it's a little ways out in the future, but that's something we're really working toward.
We've got some other questions that have been popping around. So let's see, Artem, I don't know if you saw that one. So the new version will update the previous one, even if the app's already installed.
So yes, if you select keep it updated. But the key thing here to know is when we say installed, it has to be managed by the MDM. So what happens is once we set that up, the MDM, either Windows or Mac OS, then takes over management of that application on the device. But yes, it'll just update the existing version. You won't end up with duplicates, if that was the question.
Okay, and can you silent install exe via command feature?
So via a command directly, I believe so. As well, depending on, are you specifically asking about like chocolatey or a command or private repo? We have a plethora of options in terms of how you install a Windows application on a device. But exe, I'm guessing it's not the private repo. So probably via command line. And if it's command line, the answer is yes. And we could help you with that command line instructions. For the private repo, no, because that's reliant today on our MDM channel and requires a MSI.
I just like the word plethora. Thank you for using that.
You bet, it's
Um,
my Friday word.
yeah, but that was good. If you have any clarifying information on that, you can drop it in the chat and we'll come back to that. So Joe wants to know, will the JumpCloud auto package importer tool be updated to work with the private repo tool?
Cloud Auto. Ooh, so basically you're wondering if we can utilize other extensions? Is that kind of the question you're looking at? Or are you thinking more instead of at the, are you looking for some functionality in terms of at what level we're installing it? Is it at the,
Oh, he's saying in the chat, no, and he's referring to GitHub. Recipe overrides.
ooh, I will have to look into that. That's a great question.
Okay, let us come back to you on that, Joe, and we will get you an answer.
Yeah, you bet.
Who's going to go and write the auto package processor? That's from Ross.
So who's going to write the auto package processor? That's something that's going to be a combination that our team is working on. Thanks, Ross. It's related to Joe's. That's something we're working on in terms of if you're talking just general installation of a PKG or a DMG on a device. That's something we're working on, obviously, as we extend beyond the MDM channels, so that we can install multiple different extensions. We'll obviously need to be able to install directly on the device. That's something, again, for both Mac and Windows that is forthcoming and the team is actually working on. So who's going to write it? Certainly not me. I can guarantee you that. What I can say is it's going to be likely some combination of some open source code as well as potentially porting it within our code base. So that's something the team is working on.
And I see right underneath that, Joe is saying there's an auto package processor and points to a page on GitHub and says it just points to AWS. Just wondering if we could get it to point to private repo.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Um, that's certainly something we could look at in the future. Again, right now, the pointers we keep quiet, so it's all behind the MDM flag. But to be able to go directly through the auto package, what we'd have to be able to do is one, make sure that we update the validation so that we can validate whatever files are correct. It's certainly something we can look at.
Does that sound like a feature request?
Ooh, ding, ding, ding.
Okay, Joe, you know what to do. Go give us a feature request for that. All right, so next, okay, I think we already answered Michael's question about VPP apps. JumpCloud installs apps but doesn't keep them updated. So yeah, we did that one. And then I think Nathan's question was related about he submitted a feature request recently, but any chance? Oh, Any chance of being able to hide VPP apps in the console? Would be nice to hide outdated or single user apps by default. I don't think we talked about this one.
So good question. Really, the way we link to VPP apps is if there's available licenses. So it's all directly through the licenses through VPP. So if you have available licenses through Apple and your Apple Business Manager account, they will then show up as available in our platform. If there's no licenses available, they should be removed or not available within our platform. If you're seeing something different, please reach out and let me know. I will say we did have that problem as of about a month ago, where some of those apps were still showing in our platform when they were no longer available through your ABM account. But if you're still seeing that as of a few weeks ago, definitely reach out to me and we'll see what we can figure out.
Awesome. And then Michael had another question or more of a comment, but I, he appreciates the addition. His feedback is that he's not super happy about the fact that, like VPP apps, JumpCloud installs apps but doesn't keep them updated. And they've been waiting for VPP app updates for a long time.
Absolutely, Michael. I hear you, and that's something that we've heard from a lot of customers. And this is the year, to be perfectly honest, that we're really focusing on improving and updating our application management functionality and features. That's one on the very high list, obviously. We're working on the Windows side right now to get the Microsoft Store. And then we're immediately going back to upkeep VPP apps updated. And so hear you on that. Understood.
Oh, and I love what Keith just said about when he wanted to clean up older VPP apps, created a new site location in Apple Business Manager, then move your licenses over to that site location. So that's an
Yep,
interesting
brilliant,
way to
Keith.
handle
Brilliant.
Nathan's question. Yeah. Urvashi, I like your comment about absolutely is what I heard. That's great. And
Um,
Brant,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say that feedback, thank you, truthfully, in terms of VPP apps. The other thing to know, as I was mentioning, that we're doing a lot in terms of building out our application management functionality. Please, please, please reach out to us and let us know what you'd like to see, where you see holes. Again, that's something we're working on very, very fervently this year. So the more input and feedback you can provide, it very much helps us to make sure we're moving in the right direction.
Yep. And I think we say this several times a show, at least every week. Feature request, feature request, feature request. That helps a ton. And yes, we are still working on trying to figure out how to get more visibility into that. Um, we are trying to put that out there to the product team, but continue to put in those requests. We're trying to put it out to the product team to do some more visible voting and things like that. Not we can't promise anything yet, but I know Josh, for your information, because you may not have seen this yet, we have gotten requests, and I've actually seen future requests come through that people want to see more of the requests that come through because it might give them ideas.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about what can we do to maybe surface things on the community and have them, like, maybe here are the top 10 or 15 things we're thinking about doing. Here you go, vote on them and tell us which ones, or just something to surface things. So um uh, people on the IT hour and in the community and things are telling us, they go in, but we don't see what other people are submitting, so we don't know what else might be a really good idea, and we could say, yeah, 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 me too. So we're trying to figure out what we can offer up so that it can be more kind of visible for things
Brilliant.
like that.
Yep, and that'll help not only in terms of being able to upvote, other ideas, but on our side as well. We see all your, feature requests coming in, and then we have to go through and try to bundle them and go, "Up, this one sounds like this one we think. Let me go ask you." So the ability to show and group, feature requests is brilliant. I will certainly work with our team on that. And that's something I've seen that there's tools out there. We've just worked to link them into our ticketing system. So that's something. Let me spend some time with our teams there to see what we can do. But I hear you absolutely.
Yeah, and we actually have a feature on the community where we can. Yeah,
Yep,
James, we
James.
have seen feature requests for feature requests. We have the capability on community, but I also know that there's some integration problems with being able to put that in the workflow. So for now, what we could do is just take maybe the top tier of what you're already thinking about doing and curate those on the community and just say, hey, y'all vote for the ones that you would like to see happen and help us prioritize the top things that we're already thinking about just to get feedback on are we headed in the right direction. That's one place to start, but we've heard it over and over again, especially from this group. Hey, we want more visibility into what everyone else is saying so they can add their comments and say, oh, I like that, but, or add this to it, or this is my use case that's related to that, and things like that. So there's a lot of really good ideas from people around that. And yes, Kelly, you can have all the good ideas if you want to. That's okay. And Kelly says, then it's easier for the product team since they don't have to read the same feature request a squillion times. Yeah.
You're exactly right, and
Mhm.
Kelly, that very much helps us. One again, it's not only getting the feature requests from you all, but
Mhm.
understanding exactly your use case and your flows that we can optimize for that, and grouping them. You're absolutely right. That's a manual operation that we're trying to do right now with lots of tagging and uh, um, keyword searches. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and the great thing is when you ask for them publicly, other people can then comment on them and just add their comments instead of adding a new one. And there's an easy way to merge them together. So if someone does create a duplicate, you just merge it and then it's still all in one spot.
Ooh, I like that. Yep, Ravashi. We
Yeah.
can send the tickets directly to the engineering team.
We'll just slowly crowdsource all of product management into the community.
I swear the engineers wouldn't kill me.
Well, the good
They
thing
can't actually
is,
do anything. They can just plan it.
yeah. Well, the good thing is, it's exportable too. So you can export it into like a spreadsheet and then, sort it and everything, and then insert it back into the workflow however you need to. But, we're just having fun, shooting the breeze about what it could do. So we've still got to get the leaders to agree to that.
And I will say
Um,
all the feature requests, as part of our grouping effort, we actually group them to our own internal workflows, such that when we're working on, for example, an integration to the Microsoft Store, we will take all your feature requests and link them. And it's the number of all those feature requests that we've linked that go, ooh, this one's probably pretty important. And then that way we can, one, keep track of it, and two, when we're starting to work and develop, design and test that functionality, it's against your direct feature requests. And so that's really helpful for us. And so while it is a lot in each of our, well, we use Jira for all of our epics and initiatives, they will be linked to all your feature requests. And so we can look through all those feature requests and go, yep, did that one, did that one, did that one, did that one, did that one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That really helps us. Please continue to give us that feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and it looks like we still have a couple more questions. Brandon wants to know if self-service installs are planned at some point.
Oh, yes. So a couple things, absolutely. Obviously, we have that availability on SSO apps now, although they're not like a desktop app. That is probably toward the tail end of our work on application management, to be perfectly frank. There's a lot of other integrations in terms of just being able to support I'm going to use it again, Becky, just for you, the plethora of applications that you'll all use. Um, and that's coming first, is one, just to be able to install it, but in terms of having the end user get that optionality to pick which version of notepads they want, or which version of a text editor they want, absolutely, that is in the roadmap. Again, it's a little ways out though.
Great. And one more from Nathan. We link software management to device groups for deployment. Currently, any change to the device group, even if you simply change the name of it, will initiate redeployment of the apps. Will that be improved?
Yes. So you're absolutely right. That is something that the team just identified. Anytime there's a change in the name or anything, we re-trigger the MDM command. So you found our secret sauce in the back end. And that's something that we're trying to manage. On top of that, it's how do we manage in terms of one, especially as we start looking at, like, for example, VPP updates, that we ensure all those devices are updated at the right time without sending duplicate commands over and over and over again. So you're right on with that approach.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that's going to be improved. So I think Nathan will be happy. So, yeah. Um, well, y'all, that's all the questions for now. But if you think of something while we're going through the news, then pop them in there and we'll come back to those and answer. And um, did you get a good enough answer for Joe on, what he was? We said at first we'd get back to him, but it was the AWS and pointing to the private repo. I think we got that one okay, and we don't need to get back to him about the auto package processor.
Yeah, that's something that obviously that's a feature request.
Oh,
I
yeah,
understand.
he did put one in already. He's already on it.
Yep,
So,
brilliant. Yep, and that's a good one. There's yeah. Um, there's a bunch of things we're liking to try to link to the private repo now that we've got 10 gigabytes tagged for each of you. And so what we're looking to do is figuring out good ways we might be able to do that. Obviously, our security team is keeping us honest in terms of how we manage that to best protect your security as well as ours. But we know that that space can be utilized for lots of cool things on your end. So we're doing some investigation there.
awesome. Yeah.
And Josh, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Do you prefer like a ping on the Slack lounge or do you prefer email?
Either way is fine. I do have a you can reach me in the lounge on Slack. Uh, um, and we can certainly share that. That's usually the quickest and easiest way to get to me, but email works as well. Um, and as well, with the nice thing about the lounge, depending, is it's more of a community forum, especially depending on the channel in the Slack lounge, so that we can all kind of chat together about what we're doing and where we're going, and bring in kind of lots of different ways of looking at use cases and feature requests. If it's something very specific, obviously feel free to reach out to me directly.
Yeah, and Josh is easy to find on the lounge. I mean, all you have to do is start typing, at Josh, and he'll start popping up. And he does have JumpCloud in his name, so that makes it easy to be sure that you got the right person.
And for
Um,
those of you that were active participants in the early access program for the private repo, you probably all saw me in the private repo early access channel. And so first and foremost, that's my contact information. But secondarily, all of you that were able to participate and share your feedback, a true thank you. It's super helpful for us.
yeah, Nathan does want to know if we'll be offering more space, maybe if they want to purchase extra space above the 10 gig.
Great question. Um, It's something we've thought about. We have the option to. We have not productized it yet. So another good feature request, shall we say? Uh,
Well,
um,
I love his suggestion at the end. How about if we submit great feature requests, we get bonus repo space? Good. I love that little angle
Yep,
there, Nathan.
yep.
That may be a good VIP reward or something. So,
Absolutely.
or maybe, Josh, we might want to think about this. So let's say, you know, someone gets a certain number of feature requests in that were implemented.
Oh, you get some extra storage space. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we'll have
like
to talk
it.
about that. That might be a good like a incentive slash reward for people. So let's
All
talk
right,
about that
I
offline.
like it.
Yeah.
I'm just suddenly picturing the Duolingo owl like popping up in the admin portal. Have you had an idea? You better submit a feature request.
And Kelly, you're absolutely right. Like you picked the two largest ones, and where we got that 10 gig, to be honest with you, was based on obviously some of the larger package size. Adobe is enormous, as is O365. Um, those are in the seven. I think the full O365 on Mac is 7 gig, if I'm not mistaken. They are huge. Couple things to note there. Really, what we're anticipating, and you could all keep me honest here and ask for additional space. But really, the private repo, we're looking to have it available for you all for custom apps or apps that are very specific to your organization. Typically, the O365, the Adobe apps, once we make available and connect for updates for the store applications, our thoughts are that you'd probably utilize those and not require storing those, unless again, if you've got custom needs and custom versions of those apps.
I'm loving the ideas in the
Yeah.
in the
One-
comments. Community participation gets you repo space, 1 extra kilobyte per IT hour participation. Yeah, I think we've got some good ones. I
Yeah,
also like I also like where I lost Kelly's comment there where she said, "Not my first rodeo, Josh. I've seen things."
seen things. Yes, yes.
Things.
And then sweet Brandon is trying to troubleshoot, and Kelly's like, "You're getting in the way of my joke."
Yeah.
This International Women's Day, why women just tell their jokes without troubleshooting them.
Sometimes we just want to talk and be heard, not, have you try to solve our problems, guys. All right.
I've heard that before.
I can't say that with a straight
Everything's a
face.
feminist agenda if you want it to be.
All right, we've got a few minutes. Urvashi, what's in the news?
Let's go. Not that much, actually. I just picked some of the interesting ones.
Did you
Okay.
also pick whichever one somebody said at the very beginning? Like, what do you mean slow? I don't know the article that
No,
one.
the one about PetSmart, no, I didn't.
Oh.
I figured that was for a more niche audience of pet owners. Okay, let's get started. Attack wrangles thousands of web users into a password cracking botnet. This is like a pyramid scheme unto itself. Attackers have transformed hundreds of hacked sites running WordPress software into command and control servers that force visitors' browsers to then perform password cracking attacks. So I don't know how to pronounce this name correctly, but there's a researcher who spotted the campaign, said at the time that he had seen thousands of visitor computers running the script, which caused them to reach out to thousands of domains in an attempt to guess the password of usernames with accounts on them. It's actually a really interesting read, like exactly how they did it. I'm not going to read out the entire article to you, but it's going to be in the show notes. And it's like actually slightly cool how they did it. Kind of a smart idea. Don't want to endorse it, but I thought it was cool. Next up, this one gives me mixed feelings. The FBI is using push notifications to catch sexual predators, not just sexual predators, but all kinds of criminals. So, FBI officials asked tech companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook to fork over data related to a suspect's mobile notifications and then use the data to implicate the suspect in criminal behavior linked to a particular app, even though many of those apps were supposed to be anonymous communication platforms like Wicker. According to the Post story, cops have been using this kind of data in court cases for years. The first recorded case that the Post discovered was half a decade ago, way back in 2019. Firstly, 2019 is half a decade ago. Secondly, turn off your push notifications. Why can't we have nice things? Why can't we have nice things? Because the FBI will use it.
Taylor says this is why we can't have nice things. She warned us. She warned us.
Moving quickly along from that. Oh no, there's a thread about mansplaining. Today is not the day for mansplaining. I do appreciate the suggestion. You're so nice, Kelly. But I agree with that. Okay, moving on. This one I really enjoyed because I think I might actually use this if it becomes available in my area. HP wants you to pay up to $36 a month to rent a printer that it monitors. HP launched a subscription service today that rents people a printer, allots them a specific amount of printed pages, and sends them ink for a monthly fee. I mean, just the fact that you're sending me the ink is like enough incentive for me to pay $36 a month, to be honest. HP is framing its service as a way to simplify printing for families and small businesses, but the deal also comes with monitoring and a years-long commitment. Prices range from $6.99 per month for a plan that includes an HP Envy printer and 20 printed pages. The priciest plan includes an HP OfficeJet Pro rental and 700 pages for 36 a month.
Well, okay.
So,
So they already kind of do that when you buy a printer and then you enroll in their ink program. They'll monitor, like it'll send a signal when the ink is low and they'll ship you ink, and you do get charged above a certain amount of printing that you do. There's different levels where you can, buy like 5 pages a month or 10, and it'll roll over if you don't use all of those to up to a certain amount. So they already kind of do that. So the headline sounds scary, like, ooh, they're monitoring you. But really it's sending notifications. They don't monitor what you print. It's just like it'll send a signal like, okay, you printed 2 pages and then you printed 3 more. So now you're at your 5 page limit. And Urvashi, you were disappearing for a moment. Like you it's like no body and then like half your head because your cat was blending in
this
the
guy.
background. That was weird. But so it's funny how the way something is written can make it sound scarier than it is, because I've used that program for a long time because their cartridges are actually bigger than what you can buy in the store. And it's just
Oh,
super easy. I put it on automated billing. I usually don't print many more than 10 pages anyway. I mean, it seems kind of weird to be like, you're charging me for, like, I put in the paper and you're charging me for, per page, but it's just easier because I don't have to run to the store and find the ink that matches my printer and deal with all that. It just gets sent to me. So
So
worth it.
I've got a question though. So it's a subscription service for the ink. How are they managing the paper? So you still have to purchase the paper.
hmm
I wonder if they could bundle everything together. But then what kind of paper would you get?
HP paper, of
that's
course.
why
Sure.
you
But
need to submit a feature request, Josh. All ideas must come with a feature request.
where can I upvote that?
Yeah. Ross says they send an HP certified technician to load the paper for you. That would be a much pricier plan.
And that would be
Oh
scary
my
for the
God.
number of times that my kids jam the printer. That I'd have to have a full-time technician at our house.
Mhm.
He says he'd pay extra for an HP watermark on his memes. And Mark says it blocks my high resolution copies of $100 US bills.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mark, the PC load letter is brilliant. I was waiting for the movie quote today.
Yeah. The Office Space. Funny enough, I can't remember where somebody was talking about having a mock, like those rage rooms that they have, like taking a bunch of IT folks outside into a field and having a bunch of old printers and just letting them go down on the printers.
It's got to be the huge ones, right? And you need baseball bats for the large fax machine.
Yes,
A rage
absolutely.
room just for printers.
Mhm.
Okay, and one last one that I have included purely because I personally think it's cool. That's what you get when you can pick the news stories. So that's what you get. This luxury handbag is made from the material that NASA uses to collect comet dust. So Coperni, I'm definitely saying that wrong, a French luxury brand has unveiled the Air Swipe bag made, that sounds like an Apple feature. But anyway, made entirely of NASA's nanomaterial silica aerogel. Fast Company reports.
Swiper, no
Scientist Steve
swiping.
Jones first Scientist Steve Jones first created the substance for NASA's 1999 Stardust mission, which brought samples back from the Wild 2 comet. The air swipe bag, this is what I think is really cool, weighs only 1.1 ounces, with just 0.2% of its matter actually tangible. The rest is air that moves through the aerogel's trillions of channels. It looks really cool. I don't know how much stuff you can actually put in it, and they haven't said how much it's going to cost, but
Oh,
it
you know,
sounds
if
really
it's a
cool.
French luxury brand, it's going to be pricey. But the name of it just, you know, makes me think of Swiper, no swiping, which, no, I
Yeah.
don't actually watch Dora anymore. But when my kids were small, it was just, yeah, I watched a lot of that.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
was
you could buy a house or buy this bag. So it's really up to your priorities.
Ooh, I wonder if it's going to be more or less than a Birkin bag. Those are like if you
Yeah.
don't know, if you don't follow, which I don't really follow fashion, but it's kind of hard not to hear about a Birkin bag. So I wonder if they're going to try to like make it exclusive and outprice that. It could be
And
a gimmick.
Birkin bags are like legit like art collectible pieces because their value goes up over time and they're so rare and they like last forever and they get like handed down from generation to generation, like
And
houses
they
basically
make
when
it
it
extra
happens.
exclusive. Like you have to be on a list and you have to like be known with them. Like you have to get to know them and get trusted before they'll even like let you potentially buy one. It's really strange. So
But unlike Birkin bags, the JumpCloud app repository is generally available for all customers.
well played.
nice. You've been
Thank you.
building up to that the whole time. Just waiting for the right moment.
Basically, you need to go get the call back. Twitter does the same thing. It's $8 a month. Are you still talking about printers, you guys?
They are still
Oh
talking
my
about
God, yes.
printers in the chat there.
I love it.
They
I love that
seriously are.
every time we include news about printers, it just like takes over the conversation. Like nobody can talk about anything else.
And Kelly says, props to you,
Thank you.
Urvashi, for those transition gymnastics.
Segues are my forte.
So we went from interpretive dance to transition gymnastics. So it's pretty good. You must be so tired. I think you should go take a nap.
It is 11 p.m., so I will be going to actual sleep.
Ross says, what can we say? We share a universal hate for printers. So we hates printers precious. They burns us. I love that, Kelly. We will almost never go without some sort of geekery, whether it's Office Space or Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something. So we are at time, although technically we started late. So, but it's Friday. We all have things to do, and I just realized Rob's not here, so we didn't get all of the coffee talk that we normally do. Whatever shall we do?
Do we need to check on him?
We might need to do a
Somebody call him. Is he okay?
we'll have to do a safety check. Make sure he's alive somewhere up in Illinois, somewhere. We won't reveal his location, but somewhere in Illinois. The rats are.
He's busy fixing printers.
Well, we got to make sure the rats haven't chewed his appendages off. Like he has half a finger or something. He's going to come in like this next time. Oh, Nathan says thanks for the info and answering questions, Josh.
Anytime, Nathan, and definitely love to come back. Always a pleasure chatting with everyone, and by all means, love to get your feedback. Please feel free to reach out to me on any of the channels.
And congrats for surviving the IT hour. As Kelly says.
You're
No,
all
we love
too.
having you. We love having you.
And that's on connecting to Crowdcast Audio.
Oh,
You will get a badge
that was
from
the bane
JumpCloud
of my
University.
existence. I
Absolutely.
apologize to you all and thank you all sincerely for your patience as I struggled technically.
Yes, but you survived the struggle bus, and we're better for it because we had a lovely time. And
And I got 10 more kilobytes. Excellent.
yes, You get your own
What is a
extra storage.
kilobyte? That sounds super vintage. What's a KB?
A KB,
I only know MB and GB.
it's a
How
smaller one,
old are you
1,000
people?
bytes.
It's
What?
isn't that a knowledge?
No.
Wait, isn't
Oh,
that a
it's also a
knowledge
knowledge base
base?
article. A KB article is a
Yeah,
knowledge base. So we use
Oh, yeah, probably. That makes more
like
sense.
for sure.
What's a kilobyte? Sounds, I
how about
can't
a
do anything
nanobyte?
with that.
We can give you
What?
really small portions like a nanobyte or even a picobyte.
Ooh,
To do what?
like I don't even think you
To
can
do
store.
what?
It would be
I,
just very small, I think. Just really
But
small.
Kelly needs to install Adobe. What is she going to use a nanobyte for?
she could store the title of Adobe.
One font of
Don't
one
Don't
letter?
I don't think you could install a font. Yeah, maybe one letter of a font or the name of the font, and that'd be
Yes.
about it.
It's
Basically, the
actually
name.
just 01. That's it. End of
Kelly says
nanobyte.
just the A
Yep.
of Adobe. That'd be all you could put.
Oh
Oh,
my
Ross
God.
says HP will find a way to charge you for that picobyte. 7 out of
I
8
love
fits.
y'all.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank you for
all.
making our Fridays wonderful.
Yes, favorite part of the week.
Yep, no doubt.
Definitely. Document everything, but leave in your private folder that deletes when you leave the company. Oh, Jonathan, that's so mean. But depending on the company, fair, maybe. Not that we condone that. I mean, as IT people, we don't condone that. Nah, we don't. All right. We absolutely adore you all. Thank you so much for joining us this Friday and every Friday. And we will see you next week. Oh, on the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March. Protect your Caesar salad dressing. Keep it away from the knives. Have a great weekend, y'all, and we will see you next time. Take care.